Democratic Congressman Anthony Weiner of New York. He's one of those progressives or liberals that is apparently concerned that the so-called public option might not make it when the dust settles. Are you concerned, Congressman?
Yeah, I mean, look, I would love to be one of the big supporters of the Obama plan, but I got to know that it includes a public option. I frankly believe that we should have a single-payer plan like Medicare for all Americans, but at very least, we need something that the government offers to compete with insurance plans. Now, I know that's important to the president, at least I thought it was, because he said it repeatedly over the course of the last several weeks, which is why this walking away from the public option seems to me a surefire way to walking away from passing something in the House, as Dana just reported.
Here's what he said at that town hall Saturday night in Colorado. Listen closely.
The public option, whether we have it or we don't have it, is not the entirety of health care reform. This is just one sliver of it, one aspect of it.
He made it sound like it's just a marginal, tiny little thing. He said one sliver, and he put his two fingers together to suggest, you know what, it's not that big of a deal. At least that's the way I read what he was saying. You must have been pretty concerned when you heard that.
Well, at least he said it was part of the plan. Now I'm not even sure that it's going to be. Look, let's be very clear about this, that if we don't have a public plan, then we're leaving it up to the insurance companies to somehow get up one morning and say, okay, I want to make less profit, I want to have less overhead, I want to bring down costs on our own. That's not going to happen. And at the very foundation of all of this discussion is that we need to curve down the health care costs that are plaguing not only people that have insurance, but all of us who pay taxes who are paying too much to cover the uninsured.
If in the final language that emerges from a House-Senate conference committee, because they're going to have to reconcile, as they say, the difference is there's no public option, will you vote against it?
You know, not only, I don't even think I'll have to, because they won't even bring that to the floor. In the House of Representatives, without a strong public plan, even stronger than the one we reported out of committee, I think it would have a very difficult time getting 218 votes. Look, the president has to lead on this, and he has to say very clearly a public option is important, that we hold these insurance companies accountable and provide some competition. I would love to be the one carrying the ball for him, but unless he says a public option is the way to go, I'm going to be a no, and so will a lot of people.
Because the former president of the United States, Bill Clinton, he said, you know what, don't make everything perfect, because you're not going to get perfection. You got to get what you can get. Listen to what Bill Clinton says.
I want us to be mindful that sometimes we may have to take less than a full loaf. We can't be in the peanut gallery. We have to be actors. We can't ask the president to do it alone. We can't ask the Congress to do it alone.
Because there's a lot of concern that the public option simply doesn't have the votes in the United States Senate. What Bill Clinton is suggesting, Paul Begala, among others, you know what, maybe that could happen down the road, but accept what you can get right now. That's better than nothing. But you don't believe that.
Well, perhaps it is. I mean, look, I have said all along that I think the best play is a single-payer plan like Medicare for all Americans. We're going to have a chance to vote on that. I think that's the best thing. I'm prepared to say, all right, we'll try this idea of competition with a private plan, with a public plan. But once you take away the public plan, I don't think we're going to be achieving anything more than we did with Medicare Part D, where we give the insurance industry hundreds of billions of dollars and hope for the best. I simply don't think it would work. If it doesn't reduce costs, what are we even doing here?
Anthony Weiner, the congressman from New York. Congressman, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.